Hello, my name is Joan Kelsch with the Arlington County Department of Environmental Services. Design thinking is a different way of getting input from stakeholders to help design programs and policies that's a little different from some of the standard ways we do things in local government. Here in Arlington County, Virginia, we've been looking for new ways to find out what our community needs.
It's not always easy to reach certain parts of the community. We've tried several methods over the years, community meetings in schools and in community centers, and typically the same people would come out each time. So what we decided we needed to do was try something different, and that's where design thinking came into the picture.
Design thinking is a system of methods and processes that use a designer's sensibility to match people's needs with what is feasible and viable. In order to design solutions for people, first you have to empathize with them. A great way to do this is to collect their stories. Once you have their stories, you can define their needs and desires. Then you brainstorm many ways to address those needs and desires, and use those ideas to create quick prototypes to test with the people you're trying to serve. Design thinking involves interactive interviews where we ask open-ended questions of folks in order to figure out how they really feel about things, what's important to them, and what matters at a fairly deep level. So we throw out an initial question, then follow up their answer with other questions to try to dig a little deeper. How and why questions are particularly helpful for that. Design thinking is a great way to design things. If you want to decide a new grocery cart, for example, you could talk to people, observe them in a grocery store, and figure out how the cart works, what might be missing. Do they want a cup holder? Do they want a place to put their baby, etc.? But in government, we're not really designing a thing. We're designing processes, we're designing programs, we're designing policies. And all of these things are very people-centered. Government is, after all, about people.
One of the groups we were trying to reach out to is a group that I'll call the Metro Renters. These are young adults between the ages of, say, mid-20s through mid-30s. Not a group that typically comes into the library. We were curious about what would draw them in, what they like to do, how they like to have fun, how they like to do recreation. So we found out.
In order to help Diane and the library, a team of employees from across the county used design thinking to tackle this question. We interviewed Metro renters around the county and had many conversations.
Things that I like to do for fun, I am sort of a weekend warrior. I like to play sports on the weekends, pretty much be active. I like to go hiking.
Well, I like to spend time with my family, obviously. It's expanding. I am very active, so I like to jog a few times a week.
Pretty much, watch TV every once in a while, watch football games. And then I also like to do stand-up as well.
And when we can, my husband and I spend time together by playing ultimate frisbee on the weekends, which is a lot of fun. Other than that, I love to read.
I would say I like doing them more with people. To me, it just gives me the motivation to keep doing it.
So one of the reasons that I really like playing ultimate frisbee is because I get to play with other people. I get to interact with other people, interact with other adults.
I like to hang out with my friends, but I also like to meet new people at the same time, and sometimes I actually like to combine some groups of friends that I have from sports with like my comedian friends, and I'd like to put them in a social environment where they get to meet each other and then they get to talk to each other about the things that they do and their hobbies. And
I do a lot of online stuff, so a lot of Googling, a lot of Wikipediaing, probably a lot of things that a lot of people do. I read the newspaper online, and I also read a lot of books.
Here's what we learned. Metro renters want their resources to be quick and convenient and are willing to pay top dollar if it fulfills their needs in a hurry. They're tech savvy and they can't function without their mobile devices. They're highly educated with varied reading interests. They listen to NPR on weekday mornings and track the news online all day. They work hard and play hard. Hanging out with friends is important. They like good food, and many don't have cars, so location is important. They enjoy a quiet, relaxing environment for conversation with a friend, but many are also interested in meeting potential life partners. So activities and places that give them something to do and where they can meet new people with common interests are good. Most of all, Metro renters consider themselves hardworking and busy people without a lot of free time. So almost anything they attend should have an immediate impact on their lives, or otherwise be important to them. The next step was to take this information back to library staff so they could brainstorm ways to design service that would appeal to Metro renters. They were definitely energized by the design thinking brainstorming process and excited to select some of the ideas for prototyping and testing.
Over the next few months, we planned and tested our ideas. We set up an info table outside coffee shops and at Metro stops to share information about the library and our downloadable ebooks. We held book clubs at coffee shops and pubs. We threw a fancy dress ball, which was so successful that we threw another one a year later. We drew almost 400 people to an after-hours game-playing event called Late Night Recess. They built cardboard forts, played board games, charades, tug-of-war, danced on bubble wrap, ate milk with cookies, and a lot more. Then we created a team to continue prototyping and testing ways to better serve Metro renters.
But design thinking isn't just for libraries. Arlington's Cultural Affairs Office is using it to explore how they can support arts groups more effectively. The Department of Human Services is using design thinking to help staff learn how best to get feedback from clients. And the Office of Sustainability and Environmental Management used design thinking when revising the green building policy for private development, resulting in a policy that ensures the program emphasizes the human interaction with buildings and that future buildings are cost-effective and resource efficient. There are opportunities for design thinking everywhere. All you need is a committed team open to new ideas and taking risks and ready to have fun.
Design thinking can result in a thing like a grocery cart or a book cart, or it can result in a new policy. The point is, it's user-centered. We find out what our users want, and then we create something. It helps us build community.